What's up, Beard Clan? Welcome back to another video. We're about to do a versus video. I hope you guys enjoy this format. I have a few more of these planned out, so I have to apologize for my absence lately. I've also had COVID. Took me out pretty good. But I'd like to take the time to thank all of the 334 subscribers. It definitely means a ton to me that you guys take the time and are willing to support the channel that way. In this video, we're going to be checking out 80mm versus 70mm. The one on the left is the Freewing, the one on the right being the Flyfans. I made videos of both showcasing each one earlier, but I'd like to get into a little bit more depth and find out how they're similar and how they're different. First of all, let's address the 10,000-pound gorilla in the room. The Flyfans is the one on the left, the Freewing being the one on the right. I could no longer deal with the little tiny orange planes and the writing all over this gorgeous example over here, so I had a change the paint scheme up a little bit just to make it look a little more realistic. As far as the Flyfans is concerned, I'm pretty happy with the way it came stock. I like the skulls on it, and I pretty much like the tiger around the backside on the tail also. Huge shout out to Durrell from Dragon Stormworks for what in my opinion is a gorgeous JAS 39 Gripen. We picked it from an actual Swedish paint scheme. Looks killer. So now that we've had a look around, let's get more in depth and check these two out. The Freewing has a flying weight of 7 pounds and the Flyfans is just a 4.5. Both have fully functioning canards. The Freewing being a bit heavier, I left more throw in the canards as it wasn't as well balanced as the quite a bit lighter Flyfans. Therefore, it needs quite a bit of authority in the movement of the canards because there's weight in front of the canards, being the battery and receiver. Many of you are familiar with the FMS Rafale, and if you're referencing how much the Rafale moves as opposed to this Gripen, it literally moves about 1/4 of an inch up and 1/4 of an inch down on the Rafale, and as you can tell, there's over an inch of movement with this. So it has way more canard authority, and it also moves with the ailerons, and the Rafale only moves with the elevator. So now we're taking a look at the Flyfans, and again, I have the Flyfans dialed down to only 55%. The Freewing is at 80% on the throws, so the weight being behind the canards a bit further makes the plane a lot more stable and gives it a better CG, in my opinion. That way you're able to dial them down and not use as much authority. So now let's take a look at the undercarriage of the Freewing. As you can tell, the gear door on the left is having issue. Since the Maiden, I've been having issues with it. I adjusted it, and it's supposed to hold on to the little ball link there. I adjusted the ball link, and it was enough to close it on the ground, but not quite in flight. And that little white plastic piece with the spring tension flew off. So I'm going to have to order a new one. Really not that impressed. Kind of poopy quality. Kind of what I expect. Gear doors and their servos and timing and all that are always kind of janky, especially with the cheaper Chinese models. Now let's check out the bottom of the Flyfans. They don't even bother with gear doors, they just fold up into the belly, much like the 70mm Thunderbirds, which for $290 I'm not disappointed with at all. It saves on weight and issues. So this is the battery tray for the Freewing. I'm using a 5500 or a 5000 milliamp 6S, and the fact that the Freewing has the optional thrust vectoring, which adds weight to the tail, I think is why there has to be so much weight in the front of this. I'm really not sure why they put a thrust vectoring system on a Gripen, because it doesn't even have one in real life. Now we're looking at the Flyfans battery tray. It's using a 3300 6S, and as you can see, the battery sits a bit more aft of the canards, making it lighter in the nose and way more controllable and stable in flight in my experience. The receiver sits under the battery tray, which is a nice little option. Now we can talk about the thrust vectoring cone and the weight that you have to add to the tail if you don't get the vectored nozzle. This is the exhaust cone that I cut off the back of my Freewing. A friend of the channel 3D printed me a tail cone, and this is the one that I stuck a row of finish nails, 16 gauge finish nails, to the bottom just so that I could fly it until I got mine. It weighs 1.6 ounces, and my 3D printed tail cone is 1.8 ounces. So this is the example of the 3D printed cone. I was able to line it up pretty well, and I'd like to say thank you to Bob for printing this for me. It came out really well, really nice. I'm gonna paint it a little bit so that it looks a little bit more realistic. It's a perfect size, perfect shape, and it lines right up. So thanks, Bob. You nailed it as usual. Hope you get better soon, brother. Alright, let's take these things for a rip. Up first is the Freewing.
coming to land?
Yeah. As you can tell by the windsock, we got a nasty little crosswind coming, but the weight helps hold it and it flies pretty good and tracks pretty straight even in a crosswind. Alright, that's a pretty good flying plane. Let's check out the Flyfans now.
I got you.
Loop it.
Ready? Where are you?
Going back across north. High alpha.
Coming up on it. Going under it. Up the other side. Oh, good one. Ah, that was a nice one.
Landing!
Absolutely good.
So because of the overall weight and size, I think that the Flyfans is a little bit better flying plane. I'm a little bit more comfortable with it. It's not supposed to be set up with some kind of thrust vector system that doesn't really exist in real life. I've seen people fly it on 8S, the Freewing that is, and it flies quite a bit better on 8S than it does on 6S. Especially with the thrust vector option, you're able to pull off basically any high alpha, any Cobra, all kinds of the Russian Su-35 looking maneuvers. And if that's the way you want to go with the thrust vectoring, I'd say clearly there's not an option with the Flyfans, so go Freewing. But if you're just looking for a good flyer on par with maybe the F-16 from Horizon 70mm, definitely check out this Flyfans. That's going to be my vote. If y'all enjoyed the video, please consider to drop a like and subscribe. I'd be honored if you'd help the channel that way. As a wise pilot once told me, you can only hurt them on the ground, so keep them in the air.